Men.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Igaga, the boldest man in Kampala. We're not going to talk about the person who's trying to be as bold as me because they know themselves. But that's why we're here. Now, tonight we're having an interesting conversation about young men and dating. Should a young man wait to get money before they date, or should you just dive into it and figure it out as you go along? Now, some people have called young men who are looking for women and they don't have money as simps. I don't know how true that is. Others have called them non-starters. People have called them generators, that they just make a lot of noise and don't generate power. There's so many names. But here we have men, some young, some not so young, but who are going to give us their honest opinion about this. Steve, welcome.
Thank you, Peter, and good evening.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Steve, this world has become rough. It's become extremely rough, especially for the young man. And we are constantly seeing the young man taking a back foot because the parameters for dating are being set for him by the women. It's like the men are not in control. And one of the key parameters that has been set is, before you talk to me, you must have money. Do you think that, first of all, that parameter is right? And second of all, do you think a man should just focus on making money? Then, when he gets money, he has the power of choice and can walk like a king and start choosing, saying, I want that one, I want that one.
Peter, for me, I think it's very important that a man makes money first because it increases the quality of the pool of women that you're able to get when you have money. When you don't have money, you are going to be left to choose even what you don't like because that's going to be the standard you set. However, when you have money, then you have a better chance of being on a pedestal that is your class. So for me, young men, you need to make the money first and then you can dive into the dating. But also along those lines, from childhood, the boys are told that you need to provide. If you do not have money, how are you going to be able to provide in future? So then it teaches you to learn to do the basics first, make the money, date the right people, and provide for them. And that's a fact.
But then, so in the meantime, what if it's going to take me 30 years to make money? I should not date?
Well, at that point, I think you need to concentrate on your hustle. Concentrate on your hustle. Concentrate on your hustle, make the money, and then now you can date comfortably.
Okay, Chris, from your point of view as a financial advisor, because we want to give it a bit of a professional, I don't agree with what Steve is saying. Do you think, because what is money? What is, to somebody, if I'm earning 100,000 shillings a month, I've made money, because probably I came from earning 10,000 shillings a month. That to somebody else who earns 1 million, 100,000 is pocket change. So when will I then be able to say, all right, you know what, now I have money, I can date?
So Peter, I'm going to go at this with 3 angles real quick. Mm-hmm. The first is from the angle of the art of war. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're going for war, one of the things you really need to finance, you need financing for the war. Okay, so those of us who've been following Russia, Ukraine, when Ukraine is well funded, it gives Russia a bloody nose. When they run out of money, Russia gives them a bloody nose. Yeah. It's really down to the money. If you have the money to fund the war, you win the war. So in some ways, getting into, so you're talking dating, I take it much further to marriage, because the world I come from, I would advise for a young man that if you are dating, courting, you should be leading to marriage and you should have a plan, okay? So that's one angle. What I'd layer that with is, it's interesting when you look at it from the biblical perspective, that God creates Adam, puts him in the garden, gives him work to do, and then gives him a helper. The order is important. Work first, help after.
But she messed him up.
She messed him up, but it's work first, help after.
She messed us all up.
Yeah, because here we're not discussing who messed who.
Oh!
We're talking about the money, yeah,
Yes.
and then the relationship.
Yes.
So it's important to find something to do. Also because, and many years ago we're having this conversation with Colin. I was like, look, most women that I know want to go with a guy who has a plan. Not necessarily the wealthiest guy, but someone who has purpose, who has direction, who has vision, who's going somewhere, and we can see where the money is going to come from as we go. It's not necessarily that you're the wealthiest, but there's a plan. You have work. You have something that you're committing your life to. Okay? You've chosen a hill or a mountain to die on. All right? That's another angle. The other angle I would say is this. If you had a sister or a daughter, and there's this guy who has no plan, no money, nothing, and he's asking for your daughter's hand or your sister's hand in marriage, would you happily say yes? Most of us would have a struggle with that. So that's the reason why we all need to get that piece sorted. Where I hold back on how hard I press on this would be, if we said that we need to be like the wealthiest men in Uganda to start dating, that checks out so many people, right?
Because the wealthy are the few.
Yeah. So because like when I started dating personal example, I had 3 trousers and 5 shirts.
Yeah.
Like those were my assets in life. It was not a good story. But so I had work. Do you see? So we're talking money, and my conversation is with work. Because if someone is putting in an honest shift and is earning, and they're keeping with the principles of work, they're going to prosper. They are saving, they're investing, they're going to prosper over time.
But Chris,
So my issue is, if you say a guy has got to have 10 million shillings before he starts dating, I have a problem with that. But I would say a guy needs to have work. Faiz over here, I don't know his dating story. Some of the things he says shock my ears. but for the first time I saw him, he had his hustle. He was online. He was doing something. All right. So because he was doing something, and like he told us some time back, he was earning his 3 million before the COVID hit off the zero. But at least he had work. Yeah. So I would rather trust a young man who is putting in an honest shift and is working, right, than one who isn't. So my conversation is about work, not necessarily money, because money is a relative thing, and who says at what amount of money someone can start dating. So that's what I would say.
All right. So Colin, before we get to the hardworking, ambitious young man, Chris, from what I've picked, has talked about a man with a plan. Then there's the man with cash, going to war. Both are going to war. Who's likely to win?
And I really wish you'd sort of open with Pfizer, because so as we age, what ends up happening, this is really this full spectrum of life. Mm-hmm. You get to a point where you're like Steven and you have money, but you have no energy and you have no ideas.
Ouch.
No, hey, it's not him.
Like, okay,
not
like,
him.
All right. Okay.
Unless the shoe is fitting. Yeah?
He's riding the border.
He's getting brutal real fast.
No. I'm just simply saying, men get to a point where they have money, but they have no ideas and they don't have the energy to pursue those ideas, right? Or they have the wisdom, but they don't have the effort, and life has sort of sucked them away. I think that the man who's going to war needs youth, because youth doesn't know all the troubles of betrayal, and youth lives in hope because they trust in their energy, they trust in their effort. They will take guidance, But the world is won and has largely across the last 10,000 years, whether you talk about Genghis Khan or Caesar Augustus or Alexander the Great or Shaka Zulu, it's young men with bright visions and great hope who sort of go and are able to change the status quo. Sometimes they have money, sometimes they don't have money.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, you're right, they have to have a plan, right? They have to have a plan, then they have to have energy, and they have to have youth. So the guy, to answer your question, the guy who's going into war needs a plan. He needs a plan more than he needs money. And if you want to know why this is true, you look at Kampala. Kampala is full of men with money, no ideas. Money with no class. Because money doesn't buy class, it doesn't buy erudition, it doesn't buy sophistication, it doesn't buy taste. Right? Yeah. And where we are right now is unfamiliar territory. Peter, if you were to come back and be 20 years in this environment, you would sing. Like, and Faisal will tell us, like, these girls won't look at you. They're just like, what? You don't have a perfume, you don't have chihuahua? Get out of here. You can't buy bottles? Get out of here. You can't take me to vacation? Get out of here.
First of all, I'll have you know, 20 years ago, I was wearing cologne because I knew where to get it from. Cheap, okay. I also knew how to get bottles because I was the one who was organizing the girls for the guys who would buy the bottles.
Who had the money?
Yes. So there was a way. So it's the reality.
Yeah. So, but this is what I'm saying. Like the way the world we're in now is operating on such a materialistic scale, and so even if a guy has promise and ideas, I mean, if I think about like myself, like when I was young, people dated us because they dated us on promise, right? Now you actually have to come with the thing. And I think Faisal needs to give us like a landscape scan on how the issue is.
And I'll tell you what, to me that is the problem. And Faisal, now I want to hear from you. The narrative has been set not by men, okay? It has been set by women. As in, if you want me, these are the expectations. You even hear women using terms, and I'm very much against it, saying, be a man. Okay, and I keep saying there's no way, and this is for you women out there, there's no way a woman can tell a man to be a man because she has no idea what it takes to be a man. Now,
more like be the kind of man I want you to be. Maybe is what they're saying.
No, but you see, they should work with the men that they are given. Let the men define. And I'll tell you.
No, Peter, there's some men we can't work with.
No.
There's some men even you can't work with.
No, wait. I'm telling you where I'm going with this. Because you see, the definition of a man has been shifting. Okay. Now it is, just as you said before, it promised heaven and earth. I would sit with a girl, tell her that, you know what, we'll look at the stars and I'll tell her, you know what, I'm going to buy you the stars. I'll buy you the moon. Promise her things that can't happen. But it was nice.
But okay. Peter, it was people like you. Yeah. It was people, liars with smooth tongues and no money that forced the women to say, you know what, English is not enough. And then they said, now you must put some tangible assets down, and now everyone is in pain.
No, but you see, remember we talked about girls getting on, even on OnlyFans. The issue is now, it has changed. It's about how much can you give me?
Yes.
So you buy my loyalty.
Yes.
Now, Faisal, you're a young guy. Can you compete against Colin?
I mean, I'm on his show.
Yes. And you're all hunting for the same women. Fact. Last week, Colin said,
we are all hunting?
Yes, and Colin told Chris, in no uncertain terms, that married men are the ones who are running this economy because they are carrying women out of poverty.
Married men like him,
We'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. Faisal is going to tell us how he's managing to survive being broke and chasing women that Colin is also chasing.
What?
Men. Men.
Welcome back from the break. Now, we are here talking about whether money makes a man and whether he should wait till he has the money before he goes on his quest to find the ultimate woman. Faisal, do you stand a chance?
Now, this conversation
it's very funny because I used to think like that. I used to be that type of guy who was like, you know what, if I get the money, my life is going to just get done. Yeah. And on the onset at campus, I remember you're asking, should men wait until they get money? So there's this one time I was, dating someone and I wanted to take them out. I want to explain to you guys how a date is today. You probably have lost the concept. So one,
all right, okay.
So here's the thing, that you're saying a man without money. One, if you're going to take a girl out, you have to pick her. Yeah, and you know how this Kampala traffic is. Yeah, like you're taking her on a date, you have
She
to
can
go.
find you there.
No.
Yeah, the girls you were dating. I'm talking about the girls in my era.
Yeah.
Because she has dressed up, she has put on makeup. How is she going to move around this Kampala dust?
Get on a
You don't
bloody
pick her
bike.
up.
You have to pick her up.
A bike.
She can do Uber.
So you take the story so that
Yes, and learn.
you give your mentee
And learn.
all right, okay.
So one, you have to pick her up. Yeah. Two, you have to dress nice. You can't just come
Show
like
up.
this and say, okay, now I've come.
No.
Because she has put in time for that. Yeah. Three, you have to go to a really nice place. The days of let's go to Seran Chai, let's go to for some chikumi food is done, guys. Even
Fine dining.
even the person I'm dating right now, I remember when we were courting, I think in the first month I asked her, can we go to like this restaurant in Wandiga for like
Yeah.
pilau?
Quick,
Because
yeah, it was
like,
nice.
quick pilau
Big
because Ramadan.
portions.
She was like, what?
Nah.
Why can't we go to CJ's? Oh. So, you know the average meal at CJ's? Yes, it's like maybe 35, 40,000.
40.
Yeah. The date has ended. It's still early. You want to go for drinks. You want to go somewhere. In other words, your average date is going to cost you a minimum of about 150 to 200,000.
That's true.
Ugandan shillings. If
One
you're-
date.
that's
One date.
One
Two
date,
people.
Chris.
You do
I
that
remember you
5
just met her.
times. You do that 5 times. You deposited on a plot of land in Kokonjeru.
Thank you. Thank
Not just that, but the things like, I mean, as a guy, when you're dating someone, you really have to go above and beyond. I know a lot of women and men say, don't paint a picture you're not going to maintain.
No,
but
but
a guy is
yeah.
a guy. If you're stating your claim, you really have to be that guy.
Show
But aren't you setting yourself up for disaster?
I'm coming. So here's the thing. Now, this person is into you and they feel like you're going to maintain all these things because they've been online, they've been snapping all these dates, they've been snapping the times you're picking up in a Range Rover, in a Mercedes, and now you're dating.
Where do you get it from? You borrow, right?
You rent.
You didn't use like wedding cars on your wedding.
So you do that. That's your usual.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on. Moments of madness.
So, to put it in simple terms, yeah, it's dangerous for the men out there without money to venture into dating.
Yes.
However, I don't want them to think that all they need is money. Yeah, because if you approach life with that thing of to get the women I want, all I need is money, you're going to end up getting gold diggers. You're going to end up getting women who are not going to be there when that money is gone. Yeah. So I reached a point in time where I realized, okay, Faiz, you know what? Now you have the money, but you still can't you still can't lock someone down.
Yeah.
Because my whole point was, let me throw money around. The girls that come, those are the girls I'm taking. You get what I'm saying?
No, Faisal. So let's contextualize, and I mean no offense.
Yeah.
Given what you've described as dating,
Yeah.
I don't think you have the money yet, and here's why I'm saying that. There is no way you can put up with dates that expensive, and how many times do you date in a week? Like 2-3 times a week? That's madness. I don't care if you think. Look, I don't care if you think I'm coming from a yesteryear generation.
Yeah.
There's got to be some financial prudence. You know, no. So,
But by the way, Chris, I am
Chris,
with you.
we
I am
can't
with
be
you. I'm with you on
doing
that.
that,
And I'll
guy.
tell you
No.
what. And guys, I'm going to give
can't
this
be doing
a little
that.
bit of a spin. And while it's all fun and games, especially for the ladies, because they think they're on the receiving end, this is one of the reasons that has led to this thing called femicide. It's not men my age who are killing young women. No,
It's young man.
it's young men, because they're getting financially frustrated. Now, Steve, you as the man with money and no plan, okay.
Those are Faisal's words.
No, they were calling
Calling words.
Yeah. I mean, don't you think, this is why I was saying we need to realistically change the narrative. Because what my understanding is, women fall in love with what you give them. If you get into a relationship and you show a woman money, she's not really falling in love with you. She's falling in love with your money, what your money can do. Because just as Faisal has said before, she knows before she goes on a date, and I've got news for you. You're going to spend on her hair and all that stuff. There's Colin who's also giving her money for her hair. When she's done with you, because she knows your money can only take her so far. Then Mr. Benz is going to swoop in, okay? When he's done with work, because his meetings finish at around 8 p.m., then
and he really owns the Benz this time.
Yes, and he really owns the Benz. Now,
can't win
don't
that
you
way.
think, especially for these young guys, we need to change that narrative? How about, because it's not working. We might say, that's just the way it is. There are some communities who used to say, I beat my wife, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But we realized that narrative wasn't working.
That's
and we
a
had
bad
to change
example.
it.
Yes.
No, it's the truth. There's certain things that are just not working.
Peter, it's the truth, but you are giving a bad example.
How?
No,
You can't
it's
say I beat my wife and that's the way it is, and you say someone said it because someone all they hear is that Peter beats his wife and that's just the way it is.
No, that's not what I say. This guy is trying to railroad me again. Okay. So back to you, Steve. Shouldn't that narrative change?
Peter, you're right about two things. But however, let me first, I don't want to be in Chris's shoes. I also don't want to be in Faisal's shoes. One, I do not want to date a woman if I have to go and borrow a Mercedes-Benz to impress her. No, that is wrong, because it wouldn't even take 3 dates before she discovers that, for example, you can't even open the trunk because this is a borrowed car.
No, trunk, fuel, you can't
So
fuel.
your authenticity at that point is gone.
Yeah.
And as a man, that's not what you want. For Chris, I don't think spending 200,000 on the woman that you're dating and you love is a lot of money.
No, how much do you make? If your salary is 500K a month,
There has to
These
be.
are the self-entitled
Yes.
people. You are,
if she's earning
Bloody hell,
we're talking
200,000
about
is a
young
lot of
people
money.
here.
No,
We're talking about young people here. So when you contextualize,
Chris.
What's your ideal?
wait. It's okay. Let him finish.
I think
kidding.
you guys are setting up Chris because you want to humiliate him.
no,
Because Chris was not on a date 45 years ago.
I
You guys
can,
want to
Colin, don't worry. You don't need to defend me. I can hold it out on my own. I just think there's a whole. I don't want to use French. It's nonsensical. We cannot be asking someone who is young, starting first salary, is earning maybe a
500.
take home of 500K
Yes.
or 700K, to take a girl on a date
And spend
of 200K.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not
It's
right.
madness.
It is worth a sacrifice.
because you see, no.
Yes, it is.
The girl will run away.
Because you're speaking as someone who maybe is forking in 20-30 million a month. So 200K, teeny weeny percentage of your earning.
spend that on
We're
my
talking
funeral.
about someone spending like 40% of their
their
monthly
salary on
earning
one date.
on one date, and they're going to come for another. It's madness. So then the young people get into debt, and then they start getting to do crazy things to maintain lifestyles they can't afford. What happened to decency? What happened to godliness with contentment is much gain? Just common sense.
And she will leave.
Wait, but Stephen was
common sense.
still making this point. You are saying you don't want to be like Chris. Chris is fighting, but they still don't want to be like him.
So Peter, back to your perspective. On social media lately, you say that the women are describing men, and they're saying if you want to tell a useless boyfriend, you tell him, "Oh, hi, Steve, I have a problem of 200,000," and the response on the other line is, "What are you going to do?" That is the
That's a
typical
useless boyfriend.
Because at that point, you should be able to say, "I have 180,000 right now. I will send you the
20K is
other
coming up."
20K in the next 2 hours," because that is what the dating field has become.
Yeah.
You
Has
will
become.
have to have the money.
I
Right.
beg to differ. There's a problem with this.
There are two things to this, yeah. How exactly is a woman going to tell you're a man of substance in today's world? Because one, we men of today lie a lot. You're on social media, everything there is a lie.
That's what Chris
The
was
words
talking
you're
about.
saying are lies. Like everything is a lie. So the woman says, you know what? Everything else about you, everything you're saying, even this whole workplace you have on social media might be a lie, but this
Money does not lie.
might be real. So let me do what? Let me look at this one because this money is real. All these other things might be a lie, and most cases they are lies.
So
we
I
are
want
living in
to
an era
say
where
something
it's
very
not
small
just
to what
about
Stephen has
money.
said.
It's
Yeah.
not just about money men are lying about, but we are lying about so many things. It has become very difficult for women to trust us unless they're seeing something tangible. And then they're like,
But
so this is
Colin,
real.
Vice, your tangibility is not.
So I know you want to take us to break.
Yes, but
Okay,
please go ahead.
so my quote before we go to break is like, you want people whose fathers didn't drive Benzes, but that person says you must have a Benz before you talk to me. But your father didn't have a Benz by the time he's 7. So I think that there's a strong double standard here, right?
Yes.
So the person is that exactly what Stephen is saying. No, the standard is double standard is not with men, but imagine someone who's calling you to sort out a 200K issue. That's the person who you want to put as a next of kin on your billion shilling NSSF account. Like this for me, this is the reason to pause. Because you must just get the broke people out and
I'll tell you what, we're just about to go in for a break. But one of the things I want you to think about is there's a quote that I read which springboards off what you just said, where they say this lady is ready to live with her broke father all her life, but cannot live with a man who cannot give her the 200K when she needs it right now. Yes, so
I agree with
Your
her.
man is a choice.
oh,
Yeah.
we need to go into a break. We are here at Sanga Courts having a discussion about money and men. It's getting hot in here. We'll be right back after the break.
Men. Men.
Welcome back from the break. We're here at Sanga Courts. Jeez, having an interesting discussion about young men and money. And I think we've got it all twisted. Okay.
50K debt, please.
Now,
Fine,
Chris,
but there's
I'm going to
no
need you to
50K
come in here. But can I explain to you how you can go on a date with just 50,000 Uganda shillings? Very simple.
I'm listening.
Yes. Very
There's
simple.
no 50K date.
It's there.
It cannot be called a date.
It is a date. Listen to me. What you do is go pick up from her hostel, or if she's got a workplace.
That's 20K.
No,
fuel.
you're not going. You jump on a bike.
That's 10K.
Okay, yes. Jump 5K, Bona.
No, I come
Jump
from
on a bike.
Chiwatule to hostel. That's 10K.
All right, fine. 10K. You've jumped on a bike. You've gotten her. You've carried your ice cream.
What?
That's
Did you-
20K.
Yes, that you bought from there.
Yeah, that's 20K.
Sit outside her hostel and talk to her.
in the ice
Have your
cream.
date.
With
Leave
ice
her
cream.
10K,
yes.
get
Nothing
onto
to
a boat,
man-
that
no.
10K and go
Yes.
home.
Nothing to
Done.
drink.
Peter,
Ice
there's a
cream
situation
doesn't
like
have
that.
liquids in it.
Guys, that's a visit. That's
That's
not
a visit. That's not a date.
Because even her brother, you know her brother is going to come,
But
do
he'll not
shopping
have
for
the
her.
kind of conversations that
Peter,
you will
we're
have.
at this level where a friend of mine went to pick a girl at her hostel in Espacio, calls her and tells her I'm outside, and she says, "Oh, what car are you driving?" He says, "The Espacio that you sit down there." I am not going into that car.
You should have said it's the Uber I sent.
And then switched off.
I think that guy survived.
No, he did not.
He did. I would have nothing to do with a woman like that. And look, guys, you know, there's people here who have lived different lives,
Yes.
and you're listening to us, and you have to make a decision. Okay, I've been married 21 years. I've been around the globe, if you like. I've been there, worn the t-shirt. Listen to me. Never, ever, ever put money you don't have as something that's leading for value for you. It doesn't work. It vanishes. I mean, even people with real wealth, the Bible says that money gets wings and it flies if you don't take care of it. People with real money, billionaires, become broke. Now, a broke person
Making out to be a billionaire and you're not is madness. I had a girlfriend. I've only dated 2 girls
But Chris,
in my life.
First it was one.
No,
now it's
no, no,
gone
no.
to-
Listen to me. I've had one wife for 21 years, and before I dated her, there was a girl.
Okay.
And all respect to this girl. It's nothing to do with her. It has something to do with me. So listen to me.
It wasn't her.
It wasn't her. It's me.
Oh my God.
So when we were much younger, this girl, back in the day, it was in vogue to wear leather skirts. Okay. And she really wanted to have a leather skirt, you know. And my salary, the whole monthly salary back then was 50K. Okay. The leather skirt she wanted was 50K.
You were not able to sacrifice
There
for
is
her.
no, you're not God. I can't give fast fruits for a leather skirt. You're not God.
Yes.
Of that, there's tithe,
Transport.
there's transport, there is meals. I cannot buy a leather. You're not God. So no, I didn't buy the leather skirt, and no, she's not my wife now because it ended. Now listen.
You've come back to our corner.
Yeah, no, listen. And that's the point I'm saying. You cannot be living a life you can't afford. Can we just give some people some advice? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Chris, you are not ready to date then.
No. I was, but not that one. So some advice. Some advice. Mike Breen wrote a book called Economics, and he talks about 5 types of capital. So capital is not really just cash. Financial capital, that's actually the lowest, right? There is spiritual capital, which is measured in terms of wisdom and power. Wisdom. There is relational capital, which is family and friends. There is intellectual capital, concepts and ideas. There is physical capital, which is how you use your time and your health, body. And then there's financial capital. So most of the time when you don't have one capital, you use 4 capitals to get the one, right? So it's possible that you can actually be innovative today. So, because the thing is, guys, get a plan. Once there is a plan and a vision of where you're going, and you envision the person you're working with, because you see, you either have a gold digger or you're looking for a wife. So if wife is what you're looking for, listen to me. Gold digger may be him. Now listen. No, seriously.
But I think you can.
I'm telling you.
I'll tell you what. I think, Chris, we are all looking for a gold digger.
No.
Only that where there's one who will dig for the gold with you.
No.
And there's another one who will wait for you to dig
No,
the
that's
gold.
an investor.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. So guys, seriously, I think that if you have a plan and there's somewhere you're going, and you say, look, this is where we are now. This is what we can afford now. I'll tell you crazy things. When we were dating, and this is going to sound off, I had a home office, right, in Bukoto. So employees would come, would work, and then they go and all that stuff. But I'm dating this girl, and the business has not yet grown to a point where I can afford all these things that he's talking about. So then sometimes there was money to go out and buy lunch in a fairly decent place around DHL or something. And sometimes there was no money, okay? So then I would prepare spaghetti and carry it, and would sit at the end of the golf club while the likes of him are playing golf, all right? And we had conversations.
About the place.
And we
So one
planned-
day we'll be there.
And we planned about life and that kind of thing. We're not where we were then. Our net worth is bigger. We are so much better. All right. So and in fact, got crazy, Colin. Now this one is bad, but I did it. It got to a point. I was like, man, how do I change this meal? Spags usually have salt and things like that. I kid you not. I put sugar in the spags. I was
Just
trying to
spice it
innovate.
up, yeah.
But the point is this.
To change
So I know this is a hyperbole, but the thing I am saying is, within your context, think, use all your capitals. Pray to God you don't lose the girl. Get that uncle or cousin who can drive you in their car. She knows it's not yours. You're getting a good experience. Maybe they're going to drop you. But so it's a good experience, but you're not renting a car.
to date
Do
your
something.
uncle.
And use your brain.
So
Seriously.
So
You cannot be spending money you don't have.
I think so. Thank you very much, Chris, for this grounding and very real world experience. I think that man is cursed because of man's life and ambitions and aspirations. Man is cursed to live in one reality while their hopes and dreams and ambitions sit in another reality. Most men never find, because it takes courage and humility to harmonize those two things, which is why as men get older, they get humbler. Their voices tone down. They learn that energy of youth, that virility. They learn that the world will humble you. Yeah. And I find that the men who live life are the people who find that moderation balance, that they can be humble, but they can also, they can show off. They can wear a nice cologne and look nice. Yeah. But they are not going to lie that they own the Mercedes. Yeah. But they will never come when they are dirty and they're disheveled. Yeah. And I think that the balance is seated in there. Yes. But I also say to young men and young men out there that, and Peter, this is for you, like, it's wild out here. Yes. Like what Faisal is talking about is not a lie. Yes. People will go out and they'll ask you to take your card and swipe 3 million shillings, an entire salo on two bottles. We see this?
No, it is happening.
They'll ask you to swipe an entire salary, yes, or to, like, a whole plot of land. And that's a good night, and it's on Snapchat and it's filters and it's gone. But it tells you for me, it speaks to the lack of appreciation of how much it takes to make this money.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. In our generation, I don't know whether, I think when you guys were still in a dating pool, you used to date your age mates. So the thinking was not so out of...
Far apart. Yeah. Because you all know everyone's earning 500K.
Exactly. So now us, it's a bit different. Most of the guys in our generation are dating down. So dating a girl who's like 5 years, 6 years younger than you.
They're unrealistic.
You've spoken about 5 types of capital. I'm 30 years old. I'm dating, let's say, someone 24 years old. You're a 24-year-old girl. How is she going to? She's not even going to understand intellectual capital, relationship capital. For her, at that age, she understands money. And what
coursework and going out.
Listen, wait a second. I'm not saying go with money, because I've given you my experience. Even when I reached that point in time where, okay, now I had money, let me do everything. It failed.
Just wait. Yeah.
Let me finish.
I can help you.
Let me finish. So, at the end of the day, even the person going for matters. Because, yes, those women are there who recognize all these types of capital. They've grown up in a functional family. So they know who an upright man is. Unfortunately, these women are usually, put up in arranged marriages. You never see them anywhere else.
You're looking in the wrong places.
Guys.
Now, Steve.
So you're saying like Chris's daughter will be in an arranged marriage. People like you will never have a chance. So wait. And therefore the point, Peter, is that what ends up happening is the advantages in you people's lives. So in Chris's life, in Steven's life, in your life, those advantages compound to make your daughters inaccessible. And so the wealth even just gets further hidden away from young men.
And I'll tell you what, guys, we do need to wrap up the show now. But Steve, as we wrap up, I would like you to just probably either affirm or just dispute the fact that young woman who's asking Faisal for 200K is asking you for 200K too. Because the reality, those girls are beggars and they're begging everybody. It's a fact, okay? Now, is that the kind of woman you want to be your woman? Who goes around, because she's not going to change her habits. Young beggars grow old. She will be 45 and she's still begging old men for money. Steve, your parting shot.
I don't think it's begging. The way you present yourself to a woman is the way she's going to portray herself, and her needs are going to match to what you show. If you walk to a woman and you have an iPhone 12, she's not going to ask you for a 16. No, she will know she's shooting above her weight. However, if you have a 16 and she has a Techno, she expects you as her boyfriend to match up.
Match up where?
To match her lifestyle. To match her lifestyle. There was actually a couple of weeks, there was a debate between the millennials and the Gen Zs. Very important to understand is that while generations are changing, the needs the outlook of the dating game is also changing. There is no doubt that money is going to make your dating experience very comfortable. If you do not have the money, keep away.
Sure.
Chris, you're parting shit. I don't like this guy.
What a
I
show.
don't like this guy at all. I don't. Gosh.
I don't, you want a lips in it, Masudi?
No. Clearly, I may not find space.
So I see dating as a precursor to courtship and leading to marriage. And I see it as you choosing someone you're going to marry and spend the whole of your life with. From where I hail, the most important decision you'll ever make in your life is giving your life to Christ. The second most important is the spouse you choose. They can mess your life up or take you places. If you have somebody who sees nothing more in you than just the money you're borrowing, you're cooked before you start. Don't do it. Okay? Be authentic. Someone mentioned that earlier. Be real. Have vision and have a plan. And get the kind of person, this is what the Bible says, a helpmate. Someone who's going to help you and journey with you to that greatness. Now there's a little book, it's not little, it's a moderate book called Straightforward Financial Growth that's written by Moses Mukisa, Apostle Moses Mukisa. It's got practical wisdom. It will help you to get 10 income streams. It will help you to grow your wealth. And if you commit to it in 10, 20, 30 years, you'll be really, really wealthy. Do not try to collapse 30 years in 3 weeks. It's unwise. Commit to growth, get the right person, you'll be wealthy, you'll all be happy.
Right. Faisal, it was peaceful. And then you showed up. And everything went up in flames.
I think for me, my parting shot is the piece of advice I give the younger me, the me at 22, 23, 24, is I'd want you to slow down, yeah, because you very soon realize that at that age, it doesn't matter how much money you get, it will never be enough, because the girls you are getting, yes, they are making you think they want money, but they want so much more. You don't have security. You don't have all these other types of capital Chris has spoken about.
And the iPhone 16.
So, yes, you'll get the money. You give her the iPhone 16 today. I remember I gave mine a 14. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I got all the proceeds from my council business and I bought her an iPhone. But we didn't get married. So, in other words, what I'm saying is, had I kept that money, and no offense to her because she watches the show, but had I kept that money and said, you know what, let me focus on making sure this business stands, I'd also be, you know, a single billionaire now playing golf.
Yes.
So, if you want to make money at a very young age, the one thing you should really stay away from is a woman. Whether she loves you or not, a woman will always, if you love her that much, you will always want to spend on her. This is what people don't get. It's not that we want to show off. Me, Faisal, every week that goes by, if I see something I like, and I know my girlfriend is going to like this, I'm going to buy it. Not because I have the money, but because I don't know why she shouldn't have it. Get what I'm saying? And I want to see her happy. I don't know what's happening in her life, but at least this one thing I'm going to take for her is going to, you know, make her smile. We've been together for 3 years. I am not a very funny guy that every time we meet, she's going to laugh. But if today I come with a cake, next week I come with a dress, next week I come with, you know, something, it will keep the relationship alive. But if you want to make money, best believe stay away from women.
The man was doing so well, and then he just moved off the cliff. You know, I mean,
I just
That's what's happening.
I know. So I see. So 15 years ago when we started this show, this is how I was talking.
yeah.
It's when I still didn't have money. I still don't have money. You see, Stephen says, you see, when I first was Stephen, he said, I call him, you're just rich at heart. So I still don't have money, but I have wisdom now.
Yeah.
I have wisdom, and no, I think you've sort of put it very, very right, and I don't know if you guys have heard about this. So across the world, young men are sort of opting out of this dating game. Huh? Yeah, so it's a whole movement called Men Going Their Own Way. They're sort of saying this whole materialistic thing is not working for me. And they're focusing on their hobbies and focusing on their money. And young women are sort of saying, oh, well, why are young men opting out? Because I guess they're sort of figuring out that the game is rigged against them. And I've always told you, Peter, the key is to focus, right? I've always been intensity over extensity. So find the thing that you're good at, dial in, become deep. So guys who have depth have focus, so it's harder to distract them. Guys who have depth are more attractive to people who are generally, if a girl is smart and is observant, she says, that guy has depth, he has potential. And they tend to have a plan. And so you attract people who are looking for a guy with a plan, right? And also eventually all these things iron out, right? They across time, and I always tell guys that time is very, very cruel because time rewards men. Like a guy he used to be the last in class, but if he's a 70-year-old, the oldest man in the village, people will just give him respect. Resources, respect, social security, all those things accrue to him. But that's not necessarily been proven out as the case for women. So time sort of tends to punish women. And to close it off, I guess, for me, my sort of bedrock statement on this is that women value security over love, and men value respect over love. So men would rather be respected than loved, while women would rather be secure. That's financially, emotionally, or physically secure than loved. And I think that knowing those things tells you the things to bring into the relationship.
It has been a great evening. We've been here at Sangha Courts having a conversation about whether money makes a man or gives him a license to date. My advice to the young men out there, even the old ones who are still playing the game, is just be easy. Do you? You don't need money to date. If that is your ticket, then that's the wrong woman. Money to me is an advantage. And for the women out there, look for a guy with a plan. That's the most important thing. For as long as he has a solid plan, the money will come and it will find you there. You don't want it to come and you're not there. We're here at Sangha Courts. Have yourselves a good evening. God bless. And we will see you next week on the show that turns your Tuesday night around. Have a good night.